Moving on into Group 2 once again. We heard your cries, we heard all of your advocating for Group 2, including Avengers. We listened to him a little bit as well to get back on in there. And FaZe in the previous lobby that we were not witnessing here on the mainstream did take second place in game number 6. That means now they are steadily at second place in that group. So kind of a return to normality, but there's still some teams that are vying for position there.
I mean, things have switched around a lot. Like when you talk about the new positioning with Alliance at top, FaZe is now in second. Tiger Mafia, who was really low, I think they were at 13th at the start of the day, is now in sixth place after that performance that we saw. They're very consistent. Method in fourth, and in fourth by a decent amount. They've got a 250-point buffer over dropping out again. So they're feeling pretty good, and RDH just continues to slide down that list.
Yeah, I think so. And one of the other changes the Method did, I saw Andy's picture, and he's actually camouflaged in real life as well. So they're really trying to snake all the way to top 5.
I see kind of like using the embodiment of all of the mentality that you need to use as a strategic gamer.
Yes, you can be one with the bushes.
Right, I like it, it. Well, let's face it, half of the bushes from 500 meters away look like people anyway, so.
It's true, especially some of that new graffiti is incredibly terrifying. But we meme it a little bit with the face paint, right? But I will say, a big part of PUBG, and most of us can say we felt this ourselves, is that mentality, that momentum, that sort of mindset that goes into making the right rotations, making those snap decisions. This isn't a classic esport where you sort of set a strategy in place before the timer counts down. You say, okay, we're going to rush towards objective B, and this is our strategy. You sort of have an idea, and when things start to blow up, every idea goes out the window. So I think teams that are coming in with that positive mindset, that it sounds like Method went back and said, let's have some fun with this, let's get back out there. It's working for them because that PMA, as much as we joke about it, is a really big deal in PUBG.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the standings in Group 2 right now, with Alliance and FaZe being in pretty much the solidified position that they are in, they shouldn't worry too much. As long as they're not going out in dead last in these next coming games, they should feel pretty comfortable about the position. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. They got like 700 points, I think, over fourth place. So they should be, as long as somebody doesn't go ham and start and destroys them on dropping on top of them.
Right.
Which, by the way, we never got a chance to talk about. Meth is getting dropped to Pachinki.
Yeah, they got pushed out.
So that's a first. People don't do that to Method. And I think that's
because they don't know Method.
That's fair.
Why do you want to drop? And you're playing with Andy. It's like, oh, never mind. We're just going to go Pachinki. Like 2,500 hours in Pachinki, inside playing in Pachinki.
Yeah.
But to see them leave it, I thought was A, surprising, but B, a very mature decision.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Again, I did not expect them to leave.
It's not viable to fight for such a small place. Unless you're fighting for South George, whatever, because you can kind of split out and everything. It's you just go to some trash buildings instead because you're going to lose time.
Yeah.
And we see how viable and how important it is to go early in the center. So just make sure you get the cars. Loot, the yellows north of Pachinki, which they did. Just spread it kind of around Pachinki. Make sure you get the cars because then you leave the guys in Pachinki. They might have better loot. They have no cars. And they're going to go late to the circle. And when the second circle closes, you're going to see everybody on the edge. And they're going to be coming late, either running or in a US altogether or whatever. And they're going to die from that.
Essentially, sorry, go ahead.
Well, talking about that first game, they had options as well, right? With the way the plane had actually gone. They had the entirety of Milter Road and even potentially Milter if they really wanted it. But the circle was military and they decided to go down the Western Bridge.
Which on that, by the way, it was a plane that was south. And very strangely, we talked about at the pre-show, Milta, that sort of farm line, that Milta Road that runs all the way down to Fishtown was really popular yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody was there today. It was bananas, completely abandoned. So Method did sort of go down there, got some loot, and then they set a trap for the guys who stole their town. They literally set up at those yellow houses on the hill and said, fine, we stole your cars. When you come through here, we will kill you and take the guns that should have been ours in the first place.
Yes, easy strategy.
So you're effectively allowing people to loot for you your normal roaming area and then having them bring it to you in a nice delivery service.
100% my solo strategy every time.
Perfect. I like it. I
let them loot and I just wait for them to leave.
It's because you're in a hurry. So it's like, okay, boys, for the first 8 minutes, you just go loot there and I'm going to be sitting here with a shotgun or UMP and you're just taking off.
I make lunch for my kid and then I go wait in a bush. When they walk out, I get their guns and I go and win the game. I'm not proud of it. I'm proud of it.
But you're
fantastic parent. This is weird. One final team that I want to bring up before we go into this is in 6th place is Rogue. 7th place even, I should say. They're a name that we expect to be in that top 5. Currently isn't. What do they do?
I'm kind of at a lost situation with Rogue right here. Is the last game that we watched them, they should have won. Everything was perfect for them.
Yeah.
The circle literally ended where they land their parachute. So it was a tough situation. Even you talked about it. They made a great split. They played everything right. They just couldn't hold out long enough against the onslaught of teams sort of crashing in on them. And if they can't win that circle, I don't know what their options are.
I mean, sometimes Rogue have difficulties with those circles because military is so dense in the north. But I also think when they do their 2-2 split, they do it in the north side. They don't have one guy down by one of the airplanes, for example.
Right.
Yeah.
And if it shrinks south, then you're just done for it. And it's going to hurt you.
Yeah, definitely.
I think there's also something to be said for, I don't know that many teams train military. So when you
Especially endings.
Yeah, when you practice in scrim, you tend to favor where the most common spots are.
No.
You don't think, okay, if it's in this section of military, what's our plan? You sort of say, well, it's worked for us a few times before. So, and especially if you drop there, you probably never plan to end there. So the buildings that they favored were buildings that I often see them go to during drop fights. They went to the places that they know work for them against 1 or 2 teams, not what necessarily works against 8 or 9 teams all coming to the same spot.
I'm 100% think that they're hurting by the 20-team meta a lot more than others. As you pointed out, even though they come when we see these military circles, we still see a lot more teams, and the amount of pressure and the pressure on one side coming to them, they just hurt from it. We saw them trying to get out, they lost players, and then we saw Team Incision just taking that super early rotation, taking the last strategical point in the north, and they just eliminated everyone else.
I genuinely think if they go to Berlin, like, let's fingers crossed, they get through this, they make it through the next thing, or even to Haymarket, we will not necessarily see them go to military. I think that's been a really big challenge for them in the 20-team meta and needs to be addressed.
Going to be difficult. All right, we've got 2 more games remaining. This is our penultimate game, game number 7, as we head over to the commentary team for all the action.
Thank you very much, guys. And here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. We're back in group number 2. Obviously, you guys have been demanding it, so we are going to deliver. Let's see if the game can deliver. I'm here alongside Laurent Panzy Scott once again, and this plane path is a little tricky. It's cutting a decent chunk of the map off.
It certainly is, and considering the southern road below Gatka doesn't really provide too much in the way of vehicles, especially for that many teams who probably want to head north, east, southeast, anywhere but, I guess, Primorsk or Millie Island and Georgia Pole. I mean, it's a rough, and we'll see how teams deal with this. It's certainly going to be tricky for a couple who may favor you, Yasnaya, your Milta, your Lipovka. Anywhere like that might be up in the air. We'll see what teams go for as FaZe are heading over towards Novo, it looks like, for now. I'm curious if they're going to go all the way over. I'd assume they would.
Yeah, they may. I don't know. I mean, they have gone Novo in the past.
They have. It's not unknown.
It has been a drop they've gone to, but they're going to be looking and going to be seeing. Actually, ironically, the wrong side with Krasuko, obviously, was the man that took down Yempty when we covered game for number 5. But this plane path is going to cause problems for a number of teams. Obviously, you can see the guys from Incision. They're going to be going around Watertown. But they're going to be looking at a lot of the vehicles in and around there. So the Flames going over to Rozhok and School, etc.
Oh, and that circle
that was a northern circle that popped in. Oh, and here we go, Pachinki again. They just talked about it on the desk. They're going to fight.
And I really want one of these teams just to peel off from this because already.
Knock already.
Well, Chris is already getting the kills. This is the thing with going to Pachinki, especially at this point. You can try and hedge your bets, right? You can try and go to the area that will provide you the most loot, therefore giving you the best chance at an early fight. However, it is still random to a degree in that aspect. Simply enough, one player might pick up the AK, you can get a revolver. I mean, people like Andy probably can still do damage with it, but this town does not necessarily provide enough to warrant for the fight. You can't split it between 8 players and walk out going, I'm good. You're going to be really working with a deficit. So I'm wondering if Method back, if another team backs, they know the plane route, and if they get vehicles, just bugger off to the northeast. Get on out to Kameshi. I don't care. You've got time. You can beat other teams. So again, I'm curious to see how they deal with this. I'm hoping Method realize that this is a dangerous situation. Molman's going on a push here, and he's not alone.
He's not alone. He's going to come up around there. DP in hand. Lipton up there with the Uzi. It's not a gun to mess with these days. It can do a hell of a lot of burst damage. He's got a vehicle, and that's going to give Molman the chance to try and go forward. Won't be able to catch him out. He's going to blast away. Is he going to try and get the revive on Telvor in the distance there? I wonder, because Chris is going to be covering that one. He's going to go straight across the field, off into the distance. Won't bother trying to pop him. Chris certainly will. He knows he's going for the revive. He's going to try and light him up here. Now, Chris doesn't have a great deal of loot. He's only got 9 bullets left. This is really risky from Chris here.
We saw the accuracy before being a factor, and there's the support coming in. That's not on the player who's going for the revive. That's the other teammates, and that's great. Great work from Chris. Doesn't take down the knocked player. He gets the player who's trying to go for the revive. Did switch up to the 16 before. He gets us excited for nothing. That's a really good start for Method. It does mean there's a remainder left, but 3 kills to begin with. Excellent start.
Yeah, Moleman moving in on that one, so managing to find them out there. So, you know, it's been said many times, they did give it to them before, but you just don't mess with Method when you're in their hometown. It's not a small unknown fact. Anybody that watches PUBG Esports over the last year, even from the very start, Method have been in Pochinki. It is Method's town. And, well, I think they've just paid the price. And that's actually gifted. That's 45 points going Method's way, and they need the points right now.
Absolutely they do. They're not sitting towards the very top end. Of course, they are still within that top 5, top 10 element, but there's so many contenders here. And the other team who's been pushed out of their area is Rogue. You're not down here right now. Mazzarini and the boys taking over the entirety of Millibase. Now, I will argue for Millibase.
That's the name, right? They are the kings of Sosnovka. That is.
So they've got the crown for now. Rogue have cowered away. The princes have backed. And there's nowhere else to go. You can't go Novo. That's been taken. So they're going to have to just get scrappy loot. And you can share that area, I'm pretty sure. To at least my standards, you can split it nicely. But maybe they're not happy with that. But this is an interesting one. This is a very in the middle of nowhere sort of fight.
Yeah, V9V got the man from Garlic ahead of him. Ect, that's Team 15. The Copenhagen Flames, they've got Rozok to themselves. Another team that's actually dropped elsewhere because of the plane path. If you missed it at the start, it kind of went down from just south of Georgipol down towards Sosnovka Island. It was a pretty harsh plane route. So the guys from House of Nobles actually have gone sort of like that edge route, almost like the old Alliance path route of South Georgipol in and around there. So they normally would be in Yasnaya. So they've kind of had to go away from that one. We were talking off air where Alliance were going to go. They've actually got 2 in North Georgipol, which is VZ and T-Bone, whereas Reels and Sigsy have returned back to Severny, which makes sense because, of course, that is the where the circle is.
Here's the boys.
Yeah.
Here's the boys.
The COD boys. Ono and Raz, we've obviously both covered them for a long old time in Call of Duty 4 and actually across a number of games recently. They've been bouncing around a little bit. Raz, of course, was formerly in 1 along with... I want to say it was Reese. Reese was in there as well.
Reese B was in the team.
Yeah, so they were both in there, but they obviously have been kicked out. But you know what? They're doing bloody well right now. They're doing well.
They're a team that you know they're going to be fine. I mean, individually speaking, I don't know if they can keep up meta-wise or how much they play. I know, again, if you want to go into depth with these guys, especially, the point is that if you want to look at Ono, one of the most talented players there was back in the day, he has a horrific attitude to deal with. So when things are going well, he's great. If things go badly, you can imagine Tilt City just arriving there. So it will be fun to see if they can keep this one together. Good performance from them. But they can get picked up here. All in one car, not ideal. But again, if you're coming out of, I guess, Watertown, what else are you going to get?
Well, that's true. They also took a lot of shots. They just saw House of Nobles flashing over the top. This is way down in Milton. They got a bit of rotations to go. There is a lot of rotations starting to happen. Everyone's starting to make that mass path north. It'd be interesting to see where FaZe go. Now, last time this similar circle, they kind of posted up around Prison, which would be just on the edge of White. They're probably going to go further north towards the top side of Stauber. Ono here trying to get some shots off, as you mentioned. All 4 of them in a car. It's less than ideal. House of Nobles getting shot at in the distance there. That's Flicks 21 we can see, but
decent loot though. I see a lot of level 2 helmets, good ARs, and they're going to try and split up the vehicles. And you can see so many people trying to leave the military island. This is a huge mess. Rogue set up to catch these guys. This is interesting.
This is big for them because this is RDH, who are currently sitting in 5th place, and Rogue are obviously chasing the points. So they really need to get the kills here. So as you mentioned earlier, they didn't go in military base. They're kind of on the outskirts of it. They've had to side loot it. Yannick not really catching too much there. So they're sitting, they've got the multi-side bridge cap, but it's just not working for them.
They need this. They can't go without this loot. You can't go, like, they're doing okay, but they're going to be lacking so much here. They needed these kills, and they've let so many of them slip already. Fuffin's trying to make a bit of a dash for it, and he's going to be dodging and weaving, because that's a tag and a half coming through that mini. It kicks. Oh, that's a shot. Krasuka there just lands it to the back of the head, and Fuffins is no way out of this. Surely not. Is there a teammate who can pressure?
He's got Jazza. Jazza's nearby. So whether Jazza's going to be able to help out, I didn't see whether he's low. Yeah, he is down low, so he's going to have to pop up and try and save Fuffin's bacon. He is bleeding out in the slow, so he didn't get too damaged. But Jazza with the work to do here. Scar L in hand, going to switch it out, goes over to the AK. No, back to the Scar, didn't fancy it.
Want to keep that 4 times, have a look about, see what he can see, and there's no real cover pushing up to this compound. That's why it's such a tricky position. The supporties come from the other side, so Jazza is going to be your kind of eyes and ears. Is anyone pushing this? Are you in trouble? Can I hold this? That's his job.
Also in XCOD 4, man,
Yep.
we should mention probably one of the most known for his YouTube
Frag
videos
movie.
that he has. Yeah, his frag movie.
Him and Paradox.
Incredibly popular, but UMP from this range, probably not the best. I was going to say he's going to switch over to the M4. Fuffens is going to get himself over the other side, so Yannick did revive him. He's going to get out of there. Now the other two need to get safe.
And again, you guys watching in chat right now, do let us know who you're supporting. There's so many names in this lobby league. I mean, you could pick anyone and be a fan of them here. That's the brilliance of when you get to these stages and the qualifiers. There's so many teams to look at. But let us know, and obviously tell your friends about this matchup. We want to get everyone involved, as this is all leading towards those final games where it all comes down.
Mazzarini and the back to, I was about to say back to Zaki, but it's not. It's the Kings of Sosnovka. They did finally go to Sosnovka. They've actually been over to Lipovka a bunch of times. Speaking of Lipovka, FaZe are transitioning past Lipovka at the moment. If you're interested to know, a lot of fans out there, there's a lot of rotations going on. When the 20 teams are involved, everybody rotating, it can grind things down. Method actually going a little slow. Ordinarily, Method were a team that used to rotate very early on and managed to post themselves central. Because of the circle that we have, it's not really one of those circles you want to be jumping central position, because as you can see, central position is kind of the hill of Stauber, so it doesn't offer a great deal. It can swing many directions at the moment.
Yeah, it's very much up in there. A lot of people gambling towards the kind of southeast of Severny. Look how many teams there are. And you do have a couple new compounds around that area that were added in not long ago. This is still no Leanville to me. It will always be that. It is fixed nowadays, but in my head, you're not leaning anywhere. Org as well, if I'm not mistaken, being picked up. Now, I was flaming the gun. It does have a place close range these days for me. At least the rate of fire is still nice.
It used to be.
No, it used to be an absolute beast. It does still have a place, of course. However, I guess having the level 1 helmet, I guess if you're going to be in the close quarters element, not a bad idea.
Did Jazza just get caught out? No, he's actually setting up a camp again. They're still trying to get it. Corky Minorki gets down and spun out there. Is it going to try and finish off the kill? They need as many kills as they can. Stamps does get down. Corky Minorki stuck behind the tree. Really nowhere to go. You can see no cover behind him, but he manages to get Yannick down. They're playing on the edge of the circle here as the circle updates. Corky Minorki gets Ewan down as well. He's turning them up apart here. Gets the reload. He's going to finish off Ewan. Hopes and dreams of Rogue are going down. Finally, Fuffens will get the kill, but it's just a little too late as they lose the player. They're going to get the res on Yannick.
That's insane.
Oh, Cryo. There was a double nade knot. They're going to need to double push it, but it's all gone so wrong for them.
Revive just coming in. He's found Cobra, but there's another player just off to the side.
If you're going to name yourself after Sylvester Stallone epic film, you've got to have to deliver. Unfortunately, Andy Pyro wasn't having any of it and takes him down. Meanwhile, Mikhail has been down. That's going to be the guys from, I want to say Incision, but it is Incision. Team Incisions. I was thinking the name was wrong. Oh, Andy's 80's got another one. Ayamera going down, so that is Team 18 being picked apart. The Kings of Sosnovka.
Mazzarini still there.
In all sorts of trouble. Method picking up 5 kills already remember, because they got 3 in Pachinki.
Oh, Mazzarini!
Oh, the headshot comes in.
You can tell I play with Raz, and the guys are essentially in the spots that I like to go to. It's a really nice field to
nice
play
compound
in.
there, yeah.
And especially the kind of dip off the side. So we'll see if they can use that towards the end. It is dependent on the next couple of circles. That either strengthens or completely removes half of these compounds from being viable.
The compound we just saw Method fighting for, and the one they've gone into, is a very strong compound there, though. Further south of them, you can see the team number 9 in there. That's Inside Games. They're actually doing pretty well in the points at the moment, sitting in 8th place. FaZe, you can see, have separated. Mexi up north, where the rest of the guys are down south in Heaven at the moment. Yempty and Fuzzface, obviously, where they picked up the victory in game number 4 yesterday. I don't know what to call that compound. It's like a scrap metal compound they're in there. It's into a scrap site. But Tiger Mafia, at the moment, they've got a long way to go. They're going to try and join them, but everybody else is working their way inside this big central circle. The Donut's on its way in towards Yasnaya.
I'm not gonna lie, I love the sound of the SLR. It sounds so good. You get Rogue, of course, relatively late to the circle, just coming in on the south here. They were the ones we saw struggling down in the very far south, and they're a favorite in this. You'd look at Rogue and think, you know, they're right at the top. FaZe up in the position we saw them doing so well in before in the games yesterday. Again, still plenty of real estate. You can see they're already doing a bit of a 2-2 split-ish, but they're just spread. It's something I like about them. They're very dominant in the way they take over map control. They'll put themselves in positions where you have to be good individually, but if you are and if you're confident, you can lock down so much area. They're banking on a bit of an eastern swing, but if it works for them, they are laughing.
I wonder if Mexi fancies the crate. There's a crate dropping near him. He's the one that's off to the north. Circle's about to pop in. We'll see where it goes across to. Let's see if it donuts in on Yasnaya. It does. Mexi's heading towards it, but I think Ate is going to get there first from Team 19 RDH. They're all kind of passing it by. Phaser kind of paralleling with them at the moment. Looks like they're going to allow them to have it. It's been just left there in the fields.
The thing with FaZe and the teams towards the east, they're in no man's land territory. You can see there's very little hard cover, very hard to transition away from this because there's no cover on the way out. It's literal open fields. So the edge of Yasnaya is very powerful. They're going to get in, but everyone is compressing into this very small area now.
It is getting very, very busy.
Get your flashbangs, boys.
In Yasnaya. X-ray vision, and honestly, I pity our observers. We may have Ansvar and his gang down there along with AIM from TSM, but my God, I tell you what, these finishes in Yasnaya, I've had to cast a couple of them, and they are just disastrous to try and follow because there's just so much action happens in close quarters.
Absolutely, the vertical ground comes into play. Thank you for the overview. But the thing is, this town can be segmented. You can see teams going for it. I actually quite like the team towards the northwestern side.
Flames are still the number 1 team. I actually tell a lie. They're down to the number 3 team in the group lobby at the moment. They're trying to join their teammates, but they are having to pass straight on by the boys from Purge. Hayes here trying to line them up, but Bjorn manages to reply. Simcarry gets Pony Rider, and Hamster goes down. And this is what I was talking about. It was a really risky rotate trying to join up with their teammates, and the Copenhagen Flames may pay for this dearly, because if they go down, there's Bjorn, I think, is the last man standing for the moment to get the revive. Fever will help out as well, so they're going to get the revives. But look, there's
18 teams here.
We should mention this circle could still pull away from Yasnaya and go to the hills, where Alliance are standing. If that happens, it is chaos. Yannick is down. Fuzzface is dealt with him. Rogue came in very late into Yasnaya. Fuffins and Jazzard look like they're going to get in safe, but FaZe are starting to collect kills. They went for the roofs of the northern apartments in Yasnaya.
Yeah, they're up there doing what they can. Again, they're fine. They're unpressured as well. You have really good vision around. And you control the northeast, eastern, and even southeast side. You can see the rest of the road towards a roadblock almost. This could be a stalemate, and this is the thing the observers will hate. It's such small angles to try and get the shot through. I don't really see too many Car-98s. I see an SLR there. I do see a Mini in the background. They're the kind of potential launch pads into actually rushing those compounds, getting the nades in, pushing on a knock. That's what you're looking for here.
It's going to get picked off. There's so many DMRs. Circle going to pop in. It gets very messy. A lot of open ground. Just look at it on the screen, the background. Look at that, where the power lines go across. That is the circle right now. There's not a lot of cover there.
And look, as much as those hills are great, there's something to be said for trying to fight downhill when your computer's staring at Yasnaya. It's a big old town, there's a lot of people there. You kind of want to be fighting outside of it. But regardless of that, you're seeing how many teams are occupying the space in this awesome little mini-map we've got going on here, extended out. FaZe, unlike the way they still have the Car-98 here, even with the 6 times, you can catch rotations. You start mentally plotting where teams are. Early teams making moves as well. Everyone's trying to come through the southern fields. Currently you have Raptors there. You've got Method there. A fun little battle mentally for those guys coming through.
Well, that'd be interesting if they meet. They're actually going for the backside of the apartments. That's where they're going to try and crash into. One's going east, one's going west. So Method going over to the western side towards the double stack houses. Obviously, you know, a lot of history between Raptor the Raptor and Andy Pyro. They're obviously formerly teammates a while back now, that is, but they still have a bit of beef between them.
Just wait till they make the exact same call. That's the best part to me. Kick the IGL and then make the same call as he would. But that may not be the case. They are all trying to claim that really expensive real estate right now. Nothing's for free. FaZe are very spread, but very dominant. They're taking as many fights as they can, but they have so much safety. Method pulling up towards the road here. I'm not sure which compound or building they're going to settle in. I do like the team taking over that northeastern side. Again, big fan of that. You can catch players moving in from the coastal side, almost, I guess, the lake side as such.
They're going to smoke across the cross it. This is ballsy. They didn't even smoke it.
They didn't even look left or right.
Straight across. They cross over, and that's actually going to work out very much in their favor because we can see the real estate they're going into. However, they're going to bump into the backside of Inside Gaming here. Flames actually managing to land a bunch of kills. Reals are getting down. Now, Reals were in the hills of Stauber. They're the only team that are kind of staying out. VZ's going to get the revive on them, so they're going to stick. I believe there's still 3 alive. Reese B is miles away down south, so he's trying to join his team. That's going to be the Incision guys. They've got to go way south, but VZ goes down. So the House of Nova's picked him off. So T-Bone, that's 2.
Yep. And this could be huge, though, this fight here. You've got so many angles being watched already. You can see why Hayes is being so cautious on which way he peeks. He's hearing all these steps. His teammates coming up. Bjorn is holding the push from the front side. He should be actively peeking this unless he's already got the attention, which he might do. Then the other teammates need to be the kind of people to watch the cross. Raptor's been picked up, though. That's a big loss for his teammates. Now, Hamster needs to not be a hamster. He needs to be brave. He needs to be like a lion. Get out there, Hamster, you wild thing. Go and take him down. Do something about this being passive here. You're seeing the nades coming out, trying to define the angles. They're being swarmed. Hayes, be careful. If you see that on the kill feed, there's no one to... Oh, the tag was big as well. He's going to get a bandage on. No real meds left either. Just bandages and a couple of energy drinks.
There's another nade.
Run, Hayes, run. This is not a good situation for you. Try and find a bit of respite for a second. Blue moving in, praying no one else is there as Andy starts to light up teammates.
Yeah, he manages to get himself onto Will's inside gaming, but Hayes having to dodge nade after nade here coming out of the Copenhagen Flames. Hamster, the young 18-year-old, doing wonders right now for the Copenhagen Flames. His cousin used to be on the team, of course, Noise as well. I think he's down as a sub at the moment. Fever, of course, coming over from Alliance, formerly playing for them, but certainly doing very well in the Copenhagen Flames, just been confirmed as a teammate. Meanwhile, Method, they've tried to push. They've crashed in on the apartments. Now, Inside Game made the move first. Remember, Method, we saw them crossing the road. Now they've pushed up to the northern apartments. They're very close to FaZe as well. Oh, coming actually tried to come out the back.
Oh,
it's a wide move, but his nade is on. No. Oh, no.
And, oh, is he just... Did 80? Was that off the wall? I'm almost impressed. You can't seem to wear pants, but you can bounce nades off of walls into... Do it again. That's awesome. Anyway, I do like the new addition of the windows, bearing in my backlines. Look at Chris and look at Andy.
Meanwhile, in the north, Team Alliance, of course, who are in the #1 spot at the moment, are about to get pushed by House of Nobles. That's happening just outside of Yasnaya. They're about to push out, and that could be obviously the #1 team going down. T-Bone, the last man standing, and you can see 4 members of the House of Nobles all over him.
I believe.
Flicks just to the left of him.
Hello?
Oh, he doesn't want to go for it. It's the last man. He can't,
Look at him,
go
look at
for
this.
it.
But how is he not...
Has he not spotted? I know.
Do it.
It's
Do the
Flicks.
dirty T-Bone. Up.
Do it.
Up. T-Bone.
He's just watched him heal, so he now knows
This is when
he's
his
on full
mouth
hit points,
disconnects
right?
or something, you know what I mean? Just like...
But, I mean, they have this unenviable task of making the run down south, and all the FaZe are just staring straight at them, right? They're just staring straight in there. This is the battle we were watching a minute ago. It is the Copenhagen Flames that will come out on top. They get themselves a good 4 kills, and remember, obviously, they're fighting to keep their position. They are currently 3rd place on points and looking good.
But the problem is they made some sound, and now look how many teams are staring them down. They don't even have safety. The circles move in. They've got to move forward, and V9V are waiting on the other side in the front 6 buildings, locking them out on FaZe, still eyeing up more people to take down.
We're coming up to Circle 5. We have 46 alive inside Yasnaya.
Looks like a bag of Skittles just exploded.
There's probably about 10 alive on the edge of Yasnaya. Everyone in each apartment. That's how confident they are. Because if they get one knocked, that's it. You're not getting revived. You're not getting out of that. Method themselves have congested themselves into side 1. Here's Botsman. They're trying to make the run down.
There's
no
another team
sniper rifle
next to
for
these
him.
guys. Like, I mean, look how close these 2 teams are here. There's so many battles going on across, obviously, throughout all of this. And T-Bone did go down in the meantime as well.
They're engaging in the hillside. Sunbird's managed to spin around. He's found Havani. Gets himself a little peek on the next one, but he's going to get his head taken off. And Finguin, the last man for his team, is basically a one-on-one. Botsman versus Finguin, while obviously everybody else tries to get involved. Cammy's going to peek down the hillside. Botsman just behind the trail gets Cammy down. It is a 1-in-1. The House of Nobles is going to try and back away from this one. Finguin with the big SKS rattling off, but he's not able to manage to make the connection. He's instead going to smoke out his teammates and go for the revives.
Botsman, if you had a nade right now, you would be laughing, but I don't think he does, and Sunbird's bleeding by the wayside.
It does cause problems, and it's FaZe staring down the barrels. Straight aim down in sights onto RDS.
And they're so well set. Look at FaZe. They have ammo, they've got position. They are so dominant right now. They could get picked up, but they're so aggressive in this. Look at the amount of damage they're doing. The hit points they're just taking away are massive. Rogue has managed to still rack up a couple of kills here and there, but the team on the outskirts to start being, you know, the real gatekeepers. But people can slip in and out. Flames being picked up here. V9V managing to lay a little bit of that pressure towards them.
Botsman goes down. House of Nobles going out in 15th place. So that was the battle in the hillside. Hack said he takes his attention over to there. Meanwhile, the Copenhagen Flames, they just got a knock on them from Bjorn. They all need to start compressing. FaZe have this massive amount of real estate with these 4 apartment buildings they're holding. Everybody else is kind of congested in the others. There's RDH. They're taking a massive run. They've got blasting in 2 vehicles. Can they get across? No. Akumis and Repo gets taken apart. There's Kazuka and Co. Mix is just lighting them up. Ristas manages to get himself one. Are they going to get in the building? No. just taken down as they get in, but one survived, and he will get the revive. Ate, the hero of RDH.
For now, at least, Fuzzface still eyeing up more targets. Nades being... Oh, that could be a good nade as well. Surely you've heard it. Surely you've seen it. Run! No! Fuzzface still gets the nade. Raz going to be racking up a kill towards the Flames boys. But if anyone dares come towards FaZe, they are destroying them.
Oh my
Systematic decimation. FaZe are so dominant right now. They are showing why they're a favorite. They look enraged with anyone coming towards their building.
Catch the Copenhagen Flames out. You can see Raz going to finish that one out as he gets his 3rd kill of the game. They're all lingering on the edge side of the circle right now. There is a, team number 2. It is FaZe. They're doing so well. Method, they've still got the 4 alive. Remember, they got the 7 kills. They got them 3 kills, earlier on in Pachinki, where someone had the audacity to try and challenge them in there. This time it didn't work out for them. But they still have 2 upstairs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, and you're hearing those steps every now and then, and sound becomes such a huge factor here too as well. It is the 2-2 split. Andy getting knocks, getting kills. PUBG being found.
He's going to like that. That's Tiger Mafia, right?
Exactly. Like any of these kills he gets, you know there's that little Finnish grin creeping on the face.
He's just hoping that it's like Raptor the Raptor comes up. Screenshot, video, clip, done.
Oh, there we go. He said Raptor. He said the name. Got 98 8 times. Still works so well. That's a building away. I guess you could get to. This dip is lovely, but it's not going to be you alone.
Yeah.
So again, FaZe are dominant here. They need to be a little careful they don't get flanked on, or, a couple of people sneak their way in. But here comes push. Everyone's just running in now, and this is going to be such a bloodbath.
Yeah, MT is about to get very busy. Yeah, you can see FaZe, they're going to compress. They need to try and cover them off. So Mexi and Fuzzface are going to try and cover off one side. Kavorka tries to pop off the shots painted in there. Ferber's actually sneaking around right around the southern edge of the circle, trying to tiptoe his way into Rogue, who do sit on the edge of this current white circle. Everybody else is just getting lit up. Hack said he's got himself some free fire across there. There's the underhand nade. Is that going to be quite enough for Kavorka there as he tosses it outside? But he's going to get pushed in the backside, but Sidibi will manage to get him down in the end. Kavorka will finish that kill off. That's going to be the guys from Nox.
And here
team
comes
number
another
3.
squad.
Avian manages to destroy them, and that's another squad down. Still 28 alive as they all compress into this one little spot.
Reese B's gone down, Horseman's gone down. This is huge. FaZe still doing great work here as well. They are standing large and in charge. Raz to trade down, Raptor's gone down. That's only a knock, not a kill, but still huge potential. Everyone trying to move up, relay it forward.
They've stormed the building. That's why Raz has managed to get him down. They've stormed straight in there. He's going to get Reese B up because there's only 2 alive.
Oh my god, Raz, this revive.
Oh, it's a ballsy one, but Avian's pushing on the other side. Crips with him, so Noxus are doing really well on the push, but they've finally been stopped. Moleman manages to down Crips, so it slows the charge down for now as everybody creeps door to door, building to building, close quarters combat all along the way.
And here comes the blue. It's still pushing them forward. Reese B still stands tall. PUBG goes down. Raptors team is struggling. There's so many people coming towards them. Rogue still lining up the kill feed. And now we can see Raz holding the thinnest of angles. I don't think they're even safe. They're not. They still need to go forward as well. Here comes the blue. You've got to start moving.
Rogue securing the kill there, but here goes Incision. They've got to make the move. Raz, this is not the time to go prone, son. Get out of the blue. He's got one pops out the doorway. That's a little lucky. Meanwhile, Reese B got Gushu down as well. They're just charging through. Reese gets down. Raz is still making a run for it. Gets
He's not safe. He's not safe.
Inside. Rogue will deal with him. Right, take out Incision, and that's a big old deal because Rogue need all the points they can get. The circle about to collapse in. Still 15 alive as FaZe compress into the 2 apartment buildings.
How do they do this? Look at that new circle. How are they getting away with this?
They literally have the 2 apartments that are in it. That's it.
Unreal. And FaZe aren't letting anyone take... I'm saying that's a smoke. I'm going to say it's a smoke. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, now this becomes who runs first. Anyone will try and take FaZe's buildings, or shall we just accept they're going to win this? I mean, like, look at that.
You know what? Fever here will actually sneak in, I think, because nobody's looking at the back. He can just sneak across the field. Rogue might see him. Rogue might be able to sneak up on their building as well, because they're focused on Method. They know that there's a squad across the ride. They have no idea who it is, but they've got 12 kills and counting now. They get a little peek over at Rogue, but nobody looking at Fever. Fever's on the creep. He's just trying to sneak around the edge there. He's just far building, trying to creep his way around. FaZe have got eyes on every angle. Fuffins as soon as he peeks out. Oh, Fever! No, Fever! Don't do it! No! He manages to catch the head. It didn't quite down him. He's got to move. Fever's the last man standing for the Copenhagen Flames. He switches over to the AK, and this should be Yemty taking him down. If he doesn't, Rogue have got to be looking at him.
And he's got Raptor. There's your screenshot. You're going to have one, and there's the kill for FaZe as well. The Flames go out. And for now, we're down to 4 teams, 11 players. Everyone now needs to move. The blue is on the way.
Rogue still have Jazza. Jazza bleeds out in the play zone. Didn't really have anywhere to go. Now Method going to try and make the mud, but they're getting shot in the back. They didn't deal with the upstairs landlords. They have to deal with it. And now Mexi, the smoke's down. It is everywhere. They're just about keeping in there. Chris and Ainsley doing the work they've got into the apartments that FaZe hold.
FaZe can't get too aggressive. They can't just count their chickens before they've hatched because, look, there's still players up in the other building that might just be on the edge of this. I don't know. We're going to find out in a second. Surely not. But look at Method. They are right at the door here. FaZe better put the deadbolt on. They better be ready for what's about to breach forward.
He's got to move, surely. That's going to shut him out. There we go. Now he's going to have to hop out. The question is, will Mexi be looking, expecting someone? He's going to try and tank. You can't tank the zone like that.
Here we go. 2 teams, 7 players alive.
So, FaZe versus Method. Method currently sitting in 4th place. FaZe in 2nd. I mean, there's only one place they can be because they had this wall of smoke down. Now, it's a 3-on-4. Lines him up. The AK got him straight down there. It's going to be easy in the end there for FaZe. Yepti and Mexi do the business, and FaZe